Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OWLET. This is week 5 of stage 2, and today's game is between Top Ramen MK3 and Lotus. So let's take you to the match preview. It will be, I think, the first meeting of these two teams, and our map selection for today is Oasis, Junkertown, Kings Row, and Temple of Anubis. If you notice that my voice is a little raspy today, I was at the opening of the DC United Stadium yesterday and was yelling for my team to win. So therefore, my voice is a little off. So please excuse me for today. I will be joined shortly by Ad, who I think is in a match right now. Uh, and Miss Legend is actually asking me. Yes, I do. Uh, uh, so he will be joining me as my co-commentator. So I think he'll be joined shortly. Uh, so therefore, let's go to the tail of the tape. Um, and we're going to show you how each team has done on each map. So Top Ramen, not the greatest in the world on Oasis at 2-2. Lotus at 2-2. Top Ramen even worse at 1-3. Now you go to the other maps. You look at Junkertown. Lotus has had no joy on Junkertown at 0-3, where Top Ramen is an even 2-2. We get to Kings Row, where Top Ramen seems to be very boss at 3-2, as they've had the most experience on that level. Lotus is 1-4, and unfortunately have played it 5 times, but have come to no joy. And the final map is Temple of Anubis, which is a new board for this stage. Top Ramen tied it last week in their 3-0 victory, while as Lotus lost 0-1. So let's take a look at the overall standings when it comes to tail of the tape of map type. So sometimes you can actually predict based on map type. Not necessarily just the map itself. You'll notice that Lotus is 1-7 on Assault Escort and Hybrid Escort, whereas Control is their Control is they're at 3-5. So I'm just letting. So and if you look at Top Ramen, very very good on Escort and Hybrid Escort at 5-3 apiece. Assault, they are 3-4-1, which is relatively even record when you really think about it. And at King of the Hill, that is their weak point at 2-7. So as we're waiting here for the game to start, Top Ramen having to say they're ready. We'll take a look at the current group standings now before today's games. You'll see that Top Ramen is in third place in the Strix division at 1-1, and Lotus is at 0-2 with a -6 ranking. We'll take you to the overall standings where Top Ramen are just barely above the playoff cutoff line at 4-4 with an overall record and a -2 differential. Lotus with a -20 differential and 1-7 need to get a win. So they will be looking to pick up a win here and sort of ruin Top Ramen's aspirations. Top Ramen needs a win here to sort of keep up with everybody else here in the standings at 4-4. A 5-4 record will take them up as high as 5th place, depending on what has happened today. But we are almost ready here. It looks like Top Ramen is ready. Lotus is ready. We're going to take you into the first map. Ooh, excuse me. So it will be Top Ramen starting off in blue here, assuming my Overwatch will initialize. There it is. And we are going to Oasis.
Welcome to Oasis.
Since Ad is going to a 5th map, I will be solo casting this until he is able to join. We will not be able to do a sound check, so everybody streaming, just please let me know if I am too loud later on here, or if Ad is too loud when he joins in. So let's go. With regards to Oasis, King of the Hill here is the map that I think Lotus will have the best chance at winning, as Top Ramen are not very good based on record overall on King of the Hill and even on Oasis with regards to how they do on this map. So it looks like here Lotus is going in with a dive configuration. Same with Top Ramen as Fenzito and Pandu here will be going in with the Winston Diva, and it'll be Cyan Tess and Rebel Rose here on Lotus in the front tank line. So Cheshire Cat will be going up in the air with Phoenix, whereas Mr. Crit and Vespersea will also be up in the air. Deluxe still has not decided on which um, support to go with. I'm thinking possibly Zenyatta taking the ground to help with the DPS. And, oh, there goes Deluxe, and there goes the Zenyatta. Cap going on the Genji, and Soul
5,
Train
4,
opting for the
3,
Tracer. So you'll
2,
see the two different
1.
flankers here on both
Round
sides. So we'll get a
1.
bit of
Capture the
variety, and we
objective.
are going to be running here with Lotus as they sort of come out and get ready to go. Soul Train here comes out leading the line. He'll probably go left. No, it looks like he's going straight to the point here, looking to see what's going on. Mr. Crit here up in the air as Rebel Rose here immediately tries to sort of make sure that no rocket sort of falls to the ground. The fight has actually gone to the left side here, behind the pillar, and they've sort of trapped Top Ramen behind the back. Vespersea goes down, and that's a big kill, losing the support. And Fenzito with no support either will go down too. And this, it looks like Lotus taking a good lead here as Cheshire Cat gets 2 kills. Looks like it's back to the drawing board for Top Ramen. They're going to have to reset as Lotus is going to win this initial fight. Top Ramen, not very good on Oasis, and they know it themselves. This is a map that they've insisted on practicing a lot. I've talked to Mr. Crit about his struggles here on King of the Hill, and he said that that is a big thing that they do sort of like practice and scrim on, because they know their overall record on King of the Hill is not the greatest in the world, but they do seem to be doing like sort of the basics here and making sure that they do what they need to do. They're trying to sort of hide in the back and make sure that they can try to get at least a clean engage here and not come into the rockets of Cheshire Cat, and even Rebel Rose sort of coming in on the side. So it looks like the team here is sort of trapped in the back, and Scientist gets Mr. Crit right away, knocking out the DPS. That forces Vespersea to burn a res, and Mr. Crit gets Soul Train here, so a big loss there with the DPS, and now kills are coming in for Top Ramen as they sort of get 3 kills in a row here, with Cap getting Deluxe off, capping that off. Haha. Mr. Crit comes back with a vengeance with 2 more kills of his own, and they do capture the point, but give up about 51% to Lotus. So now Lotus here back on the reset are going to have to try to figure out how to win this back here from Top Ramen. Looks like they're a little bit split, as it looks like Rebel Rose and Soul Train here already up to the front, sort of poking, trying to figure out what they have. They have 5 ults here, so if they use this right, there should be no reason why they don't win this fight, but Mr. Crit deletes Soul Train right away, so they're going to have to wait if they want to engage completely or go in as 5v6. It looks like Cheshire Cat and Phoenix are sort of going to back up here, and they're not going to be aggressive because they did lose their flanker DPS. So Pandu coming in, trying to poke, same with Cap, as they're sort of in the hallway trying to figure out what they want. Phoenix has got to be careful as her flank is exposed, but not going to be anybody coming around on the side of Top Ramen to try to push on the supports. Now it looks like Lotus coming in as they sort of come through, and it looks like Mudkip's popped the Transcendence preemptively. I like it, and that opens it up for Mr. Crit, who takes down both the pharmacy members and kills going the way of Top Ramen again. Lotus forced to retreat again, and now they have the percentage higher than 50%, as it looks like here they've established themselves really, really well. Fenzito now camping himself on the high ground. Pandu, who got demech'd here, trying to get that mech as fast as she can back. They're going to try to see if they can kill her and maybe not let her back in the mech. Vespersea's like sort of boosting her and making sure that she can try to get that mech. If I'm them, I try to dive on her and try to get her before she goes in the mech, but Pandu does get it in, but they lose Fenzito in that battle, so that could be really huge. But in revenge, though, Rebel Rose goes down, who was demech'd. So kills still going the way here of Top Ramen. 87% here on the point, and Cap goes for the Dragon Blade right into the back, takes out Soul Train, and now is trying to see if he can get anybody else up in the front. The pharmacy can't get out of the main hallway as Cheshire Cat gets sort of focused on. She's going to try to get to the point here. Oh, she never landed, so she was too high up and never triggered overtime. So Top Ramen take the first map here on Oasis.
1-0.
Lotus looked very good here on their initial attack, but it was one of those things that they were just unable to recap the point. And they just sort of got stuck. And one of the issues about that was that Soul Train, who was on the Tracer at the time, was getting picked off on the flank and running into Mr. Crit's McCree. Well, and that forced Lotus to sort of have to make a decision on what they wanted to do. he was not in a resable
1.
position, so
Round
therefore it was
2.
almost impossible to
Capture
sort of
the
go back
objective.
6v6 to sort of do a res, so therefore they had to sort of wait, and Top Ramen sort of bided their time and allowed them to sort of waste as much time as they needed before then winning another fight and then just putting Lotus in a terrible position. Now, as they re-engage here, the fight is taken directly onto the point, and you see Fenzito just sort of charging in. The aggressiveness Fenzito here is really, really good, but Mr. Crit gets taken out and immediately res here, so Vespercy had to blow that res, but Fenzito there with a good charge takes out Phoenix, and that is a big kill because it is now forcing back most of Lotus now, who Deluxe had switched over to the Lucio here to try to get some speed and to sort of boost them directly onto the point. So now it looks like here Top Ramen establishing themselves on the point. Soul Trains takes out Cap, so they lose a big damage dealer here on the side of Top Ramen. So Top Ramen looking to try to sort of hold off here. If Lotus is probably cognizant of that kill, they want to sort of charge in right away, make sure they either get Fenzito or one of the Serpotes before they sort of move in. They are still 6v5 here, so they do have the advantage. They do need to sort of push in, but it looks like Cap is actually back here and positioned to try to sort of get onto the point here to sort of attack. Mr. Crit takes down Deluxe, so they lose the support again here, Lotus, and looks like a Junkrat tire coming in. Cap gets it blown up by Rebel Rose, who is now switched to Zarya. And a couple kills here by Lotus as Phoenix res the Scientist, but it looks like the advantage here still with Top Ramen. Oh, Scientist gets a good charge and takes out Mr. Crit, but I might be too little too late here, as it looks like the point has completely gone to Top Ramen. With us now at 60%, Lotus here still can afford to be patient, but Rebel Rose is nowhere near the Graviton, as Soul Train has already gotten to the Dragon. They might need to use the Dragon to split the team up. So Soul Train gets another big kill here on Cap. They might want to blow the res here. It looks like, yeah, they do, but Soul Train gets Vespercy in a trade, so losing the Mercy here is big, but Mr. Crit compensating, taking down the Pharmacy again. Cheshire Cat and Phoenix go down, and it is another sort of reset here. Rebel Rose trying to sort of hold off this point as best as she can, but gets pushed back here by the opposing Zarya, as Pandu is trying to sort of push, and Rebel Rose gets really sort of staggered off. 97%. Can they make it back in time? Cheshire Cat needs to land on the point this time. No, but gets Graviton in the door, and Top Ramen sweep Oasis 2-0.
Play of the game.
So Top Ramen looking very good here on Oasis versus Lotus, which was Lotus's good map format. So if they were going to have any trouble, this would have probably been the map that Top Ramen was going to have issues with. Now we're getting into the crux of the maps that you saw. They had a combined record of 3-21. So it is going to be very problematic here for Lotus going forward. So we're going to update the score here. Mr. Crit getting the legendary tag. And we're going to make sure here, we're going to get a break in a second, as ad is probably already done. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go into a little mini break here, and we're going to set the scorecard. And when I update the score, if I can update the score here, we'll be right back to you, and we will go into Junkertown. So we will go into Junkertown, which is our next map. So let me just make sure I fix this for you. We will see the scorecard here in a second, as my scorecard is trying to mess up here a little. There we go. OBS is being finicky with me. So we will be going to Junkertown in our next map. It is Top Ramen leading 1-0 over Lotus. We will join you in a minute.
Could always use more heroes.
敵を食らう
Howdy, folks. We are back, and welcome to Junkertown. And it will be Top Ramen here on offense first, with Lotus here on defense. So, as a reminder to all of you, Junkertown is a map that unfortunately Lotus has not done very well on. 0-3 on Junkertown, whereas Top Ramen themselves has a 50% record here on Junkertown. So, this is one of those weird maps that momentum is a huge deal. So the idea here on Junkertown is to be able to win one fight and keep snowballing it and snowballing it and snowballing it till you get all the way to the end. So it will be interesting here how Lotus sets up on defense, as it looks like here they will be going with the Bastion here to set up on defense. So they're going to try to see if they can just sort of hold him off here at the front point and make sure they're going to try to play around the Bastion and protect him as best as they can here. I see Cap on a Doomfist, which makes me super excited, because this might be something a little different, as they might be trying to sort of charge up to Soul Train and maybe try to sort of smash him and get him off of that that Bastion in a way that would be a little different. And you also see Pandu here on the Mei, which also does pretty decent here with regards to sort of shutting off the view that Lotus or any defending team will have. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the walls here, because if they try to use it as sort of like a running shield, will be interesting, as the Mei can also then freeze and just wreak havoc in generally. So yeah, they're going to come out with this format, and it looks like they're going in the back way. Look at this! They're going to avoid the payload altogether and just go around back. Lotus must be a little confused as to trying to figure out what is going on here. So it looks like the team is going for a full flank. Oh, and a Mei wall coming up! I love it! I love it, and the charge comes through! Look at that! That's going to make your plays of the week, folks. Fantastic! Love that play there coming from Top Ramen as they sort of come through here, getting a little loud. As it looks like here they catch Lotus by surprise. They did not expect that at all. So a big charge there. Fenzito dismisses the Soul Train on the Bastion, so there's a way to do it. So now it looks like here they've established on the point, and they're just sort of pushing here on Top Ramen now, who have now sort of have to fallen back into a more defensive position. Soul Train got rezzed when he got killed originally, but gets them through out of that choke. Cheshire Cat gets Pandu here, so a big kill. But a lot of the defense here on the ground, so it's sort of just destined. Fenzito with another big charge here, as sort of Millsy then takes out Deluxe. It is nothing but going backwards here for Lotus. They are getting a couple kills here and there, but they are not stopping the big Mo that is coming through. Charge again from Fenzito, trying to catch Scientist here, who was on the Orisa, but there was just nothing that the Orisa can do. Looks like Rebel Rose here is going to try to sort of hold off the point as best as she can. Is going to have to sort of jump off, and then, like, the Diva here has been demech, trying to sort of stall here. No focus coming out from Top Ramen, who do end up losing Fenzito here, but too little too late from Lotus, who was very much surprised here by the Maywall lift that was done on Junkertown. Good stuff there by Top Ramen. So now they're going to be using that Maywall here to shield off this D. So I like the aggressiveness here by Top Ramen. Cap jumps in, tries to sort of get some push. Nothing doing here, as Deluxe sort of deletes him right away. They're gonna get a little extra. They're gonna get a little extra push. That tire is coming in for the back, and does take Vesper C out. So Vespersy goes down here on the offense. It looks like they're really close to about 6 ults. We're going to have to wait for the Mercy to come through, so smart reset here coming from Top Ramen. Lotus getting punched in the mouth, but really just sort of being able to sort of hold off here. Cap being hyper-aggressive, but getting deleted again by Soul Train, so not necessarily working here in this particular zone. He probably doesn't want to abandon the Doomfist yet because of the ult that he has, because it is an easy way to sort of get Rebel Rose Deluxe and the rest of Lotus here off of that top. Rebel Rose here now trapped as the Maywall sort of separates the defense here, but Soul Train takes out Fenzito again, so having some issues here in the streets phase of Junkerstown. Vespersy gets blown up. Great bomb here by Rebel Rose, as the placement of that bomb was excellent. So now Junkrat Tire coming in, trying to do what they can. They get Soul Train and Phoenix, so they lose 2, and now Cap here in the background takes out Deluxe 2, so kills in the favor here of Top Ramen, as now they're starting to push everybody back. Fenzito joins the battle with a charge here, and a May freeze here gets everybody here onto the freeze. Rebel Rose gonna get demeched and deleted here. Cheshire Cat, the only one left here, but is discorded. Has to be super careful and has to play ultra defensively. He comes out, he's gonna get blown up. And Mr. Crit's gonna just go ahead and chase him, see if he can blow him up in that hallway. He absolutely does. And point B now here, going to Top Ramen. Very interesting use of the Maywalls here, as now it looks like a Lotus has established himself midpoint, right at that sort of cheat point here of point C. So Scientist still on the Orisa, trying to deal with anybody sort of flanking and coming through. Fenzito has come all the way forward here and is in the top side hallway, fighting Rebel Rose on that Diva, being hyper aggressive as that payload really has no shield here, and is allowing sort of Pandu to sort of just charge in and do what they need to do. A little bit of movement here as the supports finally sort of come in. Fenzito gets rid of Cheshire Cat's tire, which is a big kill, so the ult doesn't come to a point. But it looks like a Diva Bomb here into the back gets Vespersy again. That's twice. Rebel Rose has her number when it comes to blowing her up with the bomb. So good job here by Rebel Rose to end, and then just some follow-up kills here on Pandu, who is sort of pushing in. Pandu at 40% here has that Graviton's probably not going to come until probably the next fight done. Fenzito with an Earth Shatter and Millsy with a Transcendence, but looks like here the ult advantage here with Lotus, as they do have a pretty defensible position as they've targeted to take the high ground. Fenzito here and Pandu are now in the midst of a shooting gallery, but they get the Earth Shatter down, does not catch anyone, as Rebel Rose still up at the top trying to sort of exploit the high ground. Soul Train takes out Millsy, so another person goes down here on the side, but immediately res, and now kills coming through from Top Ramen. Top Ramen doing some work here. It looks like Deluxe had to pop the Transcendence to save the rest of the team from getting deleted. Now Cap has free reign. If he wants to use that Dragon Blade, that Transcendence is gone, so therefore he's going to hit it right there in the back. Goes right after Phoenix. Great kill there on Scientist too. So Cap going for 3, gets 3, as it looks like here they clear out the rest of Lotus. Rebel Rose goes to the point and dives on it just to try to sort of stall, and that point is still moving. The Zenyatta is refusing to sort of come out, and a great Graviton there traps the rest of the team. They can't go through the left side, and
Complete.
Top Ramen complete with plenty of time on the clock.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
3-0 with 2-11 on Junkertown is an eternity. So Top Ramen here now will be defending, and let's see what Lotus has up their sleeves. That Maywall might come in handy here if Top Ramen themselves decide to sort of place themselves up at the top, but they're going with a pulled pork configuration here with Mr. Crit on the Bastion. So they're going to try to see if they can pick off individually, let sort of Pandu use that little mini grab for Fenzito to sort of hook, and then let Mr. Crit finish off. We have some chat here coming in from Freckles. Looks like Freckles burned the pizza, even though he is in chat. So, sorry, Freckles. So, 40 seconds here until the teams will be coming out, and yeah, it looks like Mr. Crit here is going to set up on the top, but is he going to set up in the same place here as Lotus? It looks like it. So, but no, it looks like they're going to go up for a little bit more of an aggressive push. Sort of pushing up here a little bit, positioning themselves here up at the sort of spawn. So Mr. Crit going for a very aggressive bastion placement here. So Pandu will probably place the shield right in front of Mr. Crit here. And they're going to try to get him out the door. So you see them right at the front door here, and Lotus immediately sees it coming. So like immediately the fire is going through. Immediately Mr. Crit deletes Rebel Rose and Soul Train. And Cheshire Cat takes out Cap, so they lose one on defense as they move and reset. So the team now going back into Swan. Vesper Seat gets Cap back up, so they are at full 6 here. So now the payload has started moving. Mr. Crit here on the ground, not on the high ground here, just to see if they can do anything they can. It looks like they're going to try to boost him and make sure that he gets any kills that he can, but Deluxe takes out Pandu. So losing the Orisa here is big, so there's not going to be anybody to sort of focus and take down. Mr. Crit has repositioned himself again. He's a very proficient Bastion player, but was unable to take anybody out there as Cheshire Cat takes out both Millsy and Mr. Crit. So big kills here from the team. Looks like Deluxe finishes off Cap, and now they're moving. Lotus here getting some decent push. That Bastion usage not very key here on Junkertown anymore, as people have started to sort of plan for it and make sure that they know how to actually do it. And now as teams have sort of do it, maybe it might be time to sort of take the Bastion out and not have them use. So Pandu here trying to sort of stall here on point A, and trying to sort of do the best that they can here. Cheshire Cat and Phoenix here get kills of their own. So it might be a matter of time here. Cheshire Cat doing some great carrying here, making sure that Cap gets nothing with his tire. And Vesper Seat gets deleted here with a hammer from Scientess. And therefore, they get point A relatively easily here. 4:54 on the clock. It looks like Mr. Crit here is going to establish defense here up top with Cap and Millsy. As they're trying to sort of figure out what they can do, but this looks like it's a mirror image of what Lotus defense was doing, setting up here. Now, Lotus still has that Bastion on the payload here. Let's see if they can get any kills. That Orisa mini-grab here trying to do a little bit of work. Unfortunately, no. With what's going on, they're going to have to sort of... oh, looks like Soul Train got really damaged there, as he sort of has to sort of jump off the point as the fire has been fully concentrated on the shields. That's what's going on. Earthshatter gets hit in the background there. It looks like Scientess was on the big flank, but is nano boosted. Look at this! Nano... oh, but he gets blown up and pushed off. Transcendence there coming in to save the rest of the team. That was a huge flank there. Nothing ventured, nothing gained though for Lotus. Good try there, but Mr. Crit finishes off the rest of the team, and now they're stalled here under the walkway, but plenty of time because of the fact they were able to capture point A relatively quickly. 3:46 here on the clock, and Lotus coming in, no real changes here as they're going with this sort of double anchor setup here that's allowing Scientist and the Reinhardt to be sort of almost like an off tank the way that Reinhardt is acting. So he does have that giant shield, but he's allowed to sort of roam around and have free reign here. So it'll be interesting to see how sort of Lotus uses and Scientist uses the Reinhardt here. Already at 48%, they're at 50% already at the ult, but you see that Cheshire Cat, Soul Train also have their ults here too. So it looks like change of point of attack as they go to the ground. They drop the bongo in a relatively safe position here, trying to actually get some push, and then the ults start to come out. I like what they see, but Cap gets a huge kill! Gets 5! Oh, we'll see that in instant replay for sure. So you don't get 5 kills and you do not get replayed here. Big 5K here by Cap, getting the tire. The problem is that if you're going to be going into a narrow hallway, make sure that the Junkrat does not have his ult when you do that. They did change point of attack, pop the bongo, hoping to get a little bit of push, but nothing doing. Cop stops them cold. With 2:33 here left on the clock, they've now gone to the high ground again, and they are stalled again here. They're not getting any joy here from the high ground as they're trying to sort of push through. They might need to wait and get that payload to sort of fall back a little bit. But a dragon here, that is a zoning dragon specifically to sort of clear out the point and split the team. They wanted to sort of move them off of that point. Now they're getting some push here, and that's what they wanted. But another tire by Cap takes out both Soul Train and Phoenix, and Lotus here just getting killed as they're coming through. Scientist gets Cap. but immediately is going to be res, so there's no value there in that kill as they are resetting again. 153 here left on the clock. And it looks like it's a 3-3 ult stalemate here as both... Oh, looks like no. Looks like Benzito just got his ult. So ult advantage here with Top Ramen. They have to be super, super careful. Mr. Crit here still on the Bastion. They are using this defense relatively well here. But the Bastion is now gone on the offensive side as they're trying to sort of sneak in through the side. Now, Benzito traps them here on the backside, using that sort of Roadhog ult to keep them in the room. Scientist charges Benzito and gets him here with the charge and the fire strike. So 2 kills here now for Lotus as they're finally making their push onto point B. Cheshire Cat takes out Cap, so now they have a huge advantage here. They want to make sure they get Mr. Crit down, get him out of the way so he doesn't become a nuisance here. Down he goes, and they're going to have to give up point B here. With looks like they're going to have about a minute left here on the clock. Pandu coming in to just try and stall. Vesper C here pops the wings up top, trying to get anybody and trying to save anybody that she can. Here comes another tire here by Cap, but that gets killed by Rebel Rose. Scientist here, nano boosted, tries to get the big Roadhog Benzito off the point. Now it looks like it's a giant brawl. 33 seconds here on the point. Camp with 2 big kills. And a Graviton comes out. They needed to use it to clear that point off, and that is what they're going to do. Good job there. They had to blow the ults. It was 30 seconds left in the game. They could not afford to lose the fight. Understandable use of the ultimates there. Now, minute 43 here left to finish off the point. They just need to finish it. They will get an additional minute no matter what. So even if they finish it in overtime, Lotus will have another shot here. So Ad will join. Ah, there he is. How you doing, Ad?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So Ad finally joining me here on Junkertown. It looks like here Lotus putting in a final push onto point C as they're trying to sort of get Top Ramen to sort of do it. They've moved and used the EMP here in the back, and they're going to try to get aggressive here. Apparently they did not get the Zen, who is trancing here in the back and keeping Top Ramen alive, but Scientist took out Pandu's mech, and dueling Junkrat tires take 2 each. So therefore Cap and Cheshire Cat get kills, but the offense here will have the advantage as their spawn is a little closer here. Benzito goes down, losing the main tank after all of that. Is going to be big. Scientist here, trapped here by Cap, who has to sort of fall back. Big Soul Train here into the back here, but Pandu takes out Rebel Rose. Hopefully, like, Twin Finnies can come, they can sort of come back, and Rebel Rose can come back as they need her on this final push. 38 seconds left here on this push, and it is non-stop. It is sort of non-stop here, and now Top Ramen getting aggressive. They're pushing in. They know that they could push Lotus back as they do have the numbers. Mr. Crit here takes out Cheshire Cat. Lotus here on the reset. They have 22 seconds here, but they do need to get to the payload. So they're going to have to sort of stall, wait for whoever they can, and they're going to have to come out steaming. 13 seconds here left on the clock. They know that they have to come out soon, or this map is going to be over for them. Scientist, I think, is probably going to depend on the charge to get to the payload. High Noon comes out there. They're in overtime. Somebody was able to sort of touch the payload there. Looks like it was Soul Train. Graviton comes in. That's going to catch all of them. But no, a counter shatter keeps them off the point. Soul Train there into the back, trying to get a back cap here. Overtime ticks down, and it looks like here Lotus are not going to get back to the point. Top Ramen takes Junkertown 3-2.
Play of the game.
So this is the 5K here from Top Ramen. It is Cap's crazy tire here. He also ends up getting, he gets 4 with the tire and then 1 with the mine. Bingo. And that is that for Top Ramen. They take Junkertown 3-2. You were able to catch the end of that, weren't you, Ad?
Yes, that last push or two.
Yeah. So Top Ramen there exerting their making sure that Lotus was unable to sort of finish out Junkertown. Now up 2-0 here, and it is time for those who were sort of waiting for my special announcement. I have a special announcement for anybody watching on the stream. So for those watching on the stream, I was supposed to go to the finals of OWL on the 27th and 28th of July to watch the final 2 teams of the Overwatch League. I unfortunately cannot go. But I have decided to promote Owlet and my channel at the same time by giving away my ticket to an Owlet viewer. Yes, if you are watching the stream right now, all you have to do to have a chance at winning my ticket to the Owl Finals is be a subscriber to both myself and the Owlet main channel. So I need you to be not a subscriber, excuse me, a follower on both my channel and the Owlet main channel. If you are already a follower, I need you to DM me a message through Twitch that says "win ticket." Win ticket. So I will include anybody that DMs me that is already a follower with win ticket onto the list of possible winners. If I will, for those who are going to be just following me new, I get notifications in my email to let me know that you are followed, and you will also be added in if you are a new viewer. The winner of the contest will be announced on the Tuesday stream of Owlet, and that lucky winner will get my ticket to the Overwatch finals in New York City. Now, if you don't live in New York City and you get the ticket, well, you're going to have to sort of find a way to get there yourself because I am not providing any transportation, lodging, or anything else. But if you are in New York City and you wanted to go, but it was sold out, this is your chance. This is your chance to go and watch most likely London and NYXL play. So go ahead and DM me through Twitch, follow me through Twitch, and follow the Owlet main channel to have a chance at winning. I will announce the winner at the end of the Tuesday stream. Make sure you get all of your entries in. Make sure you get your entry in by Monday night at 11:59 p.m. I will no longer accept any people that follow afterwards to be part of the contest. I will gladly accept your follow, but if you follow after 11:59 p.m. on Monday, you will not be entered into the contest for this. So, what do you think about that? Sending somebody to somebody to the Owl Championships. I hope they're going to be happy about that.
Yeah, that's a really exciting thing. Definitely thanks for doing this for the tournament. We always appreciate the plug. But I just want to say I feel personally attacked that you're picking New York XL over Philly Fusion.
I don't know. I think you know what the thing about it is if Carpy can go off, he can kill anyone. So I'm not discounting Philly Fusion, but Carpe is going to have to make sure that he gets as all those kills that he can. So like that's probably the thing. I don't know. This meta might not necessarily be the best for an NYXL either. So who knows? We haven't seen them play since the end of stage 4. So it'll be very, very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. But Philly sports, especially even esports, we are huge fans of underdog stories, and for whatever reason, we can only win when we're underdogs. I don't know why. It's difficult as a fan of the city sports, but
So you should join the contest too. If you're based out of Philly, that's only an hour train ride. You can make it to the finals on Saturday, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I already sent you a message.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Probably the first one because the stream's on a delay.
Yeah, it is on a delay. So yeah, they're not going to find out until after you're going to be the first message in. So all right, that's right. If you're in the Philly area, you're only a 1 hour trip away. You don't need to stay anywhere. You can stay at home, come in, watch the games, and then train right back out. Just take the New Jersey Transit right back to Philadelphia. Pretty cool. So our next map here is going to be Kings Row. So there looks like both teams here are getting ready. I'm going to just let them know the casters are now ready. So what do you think of Kings Row, Ad? This one of your favorite maps?
Kings Row is a really fun map because it allows for a lot of different combinations of comps. Multi-tank comps are definitely viable on this. It's for the longest time, it wasn't a dive-friendly map. So during the long night of dive meta, it was a breath of fresh air for everyone because dive really wasn't that successful. So a lot of people played Ryan Zarya, which personally to me, that's way more fun to watch Ryan Zarya than dive, and certainly more fun to play for me personally. That's a biased opinion, but what opinion isn't?
Yeah. So yeah, it might be interesting here. We might see some out of the box strategies come out from Top Ramen because you missed a great Maywall lift Top Ramen did on Junkertown that took Lotus by surprise there, clearing out pretty much their Bastion defense on the front. So Top Ramen and Mr. Crit have been sort of strategizing relatively new strategies for some of the maps that we've been going through. So it looks like here still a little bit more of a delay here coming out from both teams, as I think they've taken a little bit of a break here. Most likely, is it bathroom breaks or sort of bio breaks from anyone? So just making sure. But yeah, I mean, like with Kings Row, the next map here, it's a favorite for everyone. So let's just let everybody see here what the tail of the tape says on this map from both teams. So just as a refresher, Top Ramen has played this map 5 times, same has Lotus, but Top Ramen are 3-2 on Kings Row, whereas Lotus are 1-4. So Lotus not having a good time here on any of these upcoming maps, as they have just not done very well. They are a combined sort of 1-7, 1-7 on all 3 maps. So 3-21 on both the Escort, Hybrid, and 2CP maps. So not very cool here for them. So they're gonna need to pick up a win here on Kings Row. But it looks like here the delay still going on. I think there was an extended request um, that was done by the referee. Um, do you know what the rules are on delays here on 4 teams?
So, in between maps, it's supposed to be kept around 5 minutes,
Okay.
but because it's halftime now,
Hmm.
we're usually a little bit more lenient on a halftime break.
Ah, okay.
I think the official, we want to keep it around 5 minutes to kind of keep the pace going, keep the momentum going, keep the ball rolling.
Hmm.
But if both teams want to, I think we allow it up to 10 minutes. I
Ah,
think max.
okie dokie. So that is good to know. I'm just sort of unclear on some of the little things here with regards to the referee rules. So they're asking if casters are ready. Indeed, we are. So we're going to be going here into Kings Row next. So Lotus here needs to pick up a victory here on Kings Row to keep the match going. Top Ramen will look to sort of close it out
Now
here.
entering King's Row.
It will be Lotus on offense first. Freckles saying, Philly's going to lose. So Freckles also listening to the stream and might have caught up to the point here where we have gotten to the giveaway, and I had mentioned that it might be NYXL and London in the finals. But in the meantime here, so it looks like some role changes here coming in for Lotus, as Soul Train going to main tank, who was predominantly doing DPS. It looks like it's going to team up with Scientess, who was the main tank and now is going to off tank here on the Zarya. Maybe they could be trying to okey doke the old caster here. Because I am very susceptible to a lot of this stuff. On the other side here, Top Ramen, no changes for them. It looks like looks like Chowboy came in, and Chowboy, a Moira specialist, has been featured on Plays of the Week with some great ults here on that Moira. Will be now in, and no mercy here on the side of Top Ramen, but running Mr. Crit here on the Pharah. So very interesting, to say so myself. What do you see here, Ad?
This is a really interesting defense. Number one, because you have a Moira, and when the defenders don't have the respawn advantage in cases like these, I think Mercy just really blows away Moira in that aspect, because that's a long walk back to the point. For the attackers, it's much shorter, and also Mercy's just kind of better for sustained fights. Moira, once her healing cloud goes out, she has to do damage to get it back, and that kind of takes away focus from keeping your tanks up, keeping your players up, keeping the momentum going.
Yeah, I think you're right there. So it's a bit risky here because if I'm Lotus, I'm looking at this, and if I find out that they don't have a mercy, I get hyper aggressive with any kill that I have, and just sort of use that advantage and that knowledge to my advantage. So now it looks like here they've decided to go through the Ainsworth Hotel, and they're going to try to push through here. The cap gets Freckles initially as the fight sort of starts. And it looks like here Benzito was able to get Soul Train, so this is not good. It looks like most of Lotus got trapped in that hotel and killed. Phoenix was able to get Freckles back up, but it's not going to be anything good here for Lotus. They don't really get anybody down from top Ramen, and Cap already at 96% to that Junkrat tire compared to Freckles, who's only at 47. We might see an early tire here to sort of stall them out.
Yeah, it was definitely, that first push was shut down extremely quickly. Going into that hotel against a defending Pharah and Junkrat composition is a really bold move because they have a lot of spam damage, a lot of damage comes in, and you can't really sustain your way through that.
Yeah, and right here they had to blow a res in order to get sort of Deluxe back, and Soul Train here just sort of holding back. They know they're going to be going up top here, so they're going to try to position their spam here up at the window, going up, so it's pretty sort of obvious where they're going to end up going. So it looks like here they're going to attempt to keep going onto the high ground here, as it looks like they're trying to sort of split top Ramen here to make them sort of chase them a little bit. But remember, they're in a narrow hallway, and in a narrow hallway, Junkrat is king, and Mr. Crit finishing off the rest of Lotus here as they sort of get trapped here. These engages, and through the points that they're engages versus the spam damage of top Ramen, have just not been doing anything at all.
Yeah, they're really limiting themselves because they're going into these narrow choke points, which is where Pharah and Junkrat are going to really excel on a defense. I think I would like to see them just run straight onto the point and just try to totally overwhelm them. I think that's the only way you're really going to get some good pushes here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, like, with them not running a Mercy, they just needed to be aggressive and get to the point and get a kill, and maybe use that stagger to their advantage. Here, Cheshire Cat finally gets Mr. Crit here, so now they're up 6v5, as Mr. Crit's not going to be able to come back, though, but Scientist gets taken down, not in a position possibly to be rezzed, so unfortunately that's not going to be good, and they lose Soul Train too, so they lose both tanks here. Cheshire Cat gets another kill, taking Pandu out, but they're still being very much delayed with only about a minute 10 here left on the clock. They need to use their advantage here now with Soul Train coming back up and just sort of push what you were saying before and get this sort of, use this advantage, what little advantage they have, and just sort of get onto the point, or they're going to get sort of held up. They're going to engage here again, and they want to make sure here they get at least Benzito out of the way, or make sure that they can get a really high quality target kill here. Earthshatter gets shielded up, and a combo here with Mr. Crit as he gets as he takes down Scientist. He loses his life in the process, but it was a 2-for-1 trade here. And Cap takes out Cheshire Cat in the air. So not much lost here for the side of top Ramen, and now it is go time with 30 seconds left to go.
Yeah, on that last push, they really, Lotus really sat on, they had all 6 people up, but they were just kind of sitting around and choked. They didn't push. They had an advantage. Pandu was still walking back from spawn, and they waited basically until Pandu got back to push in.
So, and it looks like here, Benzito gets a shatter and catches behind the shield. So it looks like Phoenix here has to res Freckles back up, but in the meantime they do lose their front tank line as overtime ticks down. They're able to sort of just now charge in. Now they sort of have to rush and risk as Freckles picks up 2 kills, but it might be too little too late here as nobody can get back onto the point. They didn't even get a tick, and it is top Ramen looking pretty here on King's Row. All they need is a single tick from Lotus, and they're going to win this matchup.
Switching sides.
Lotus not getting able to sort of get onto the point here. I think their lack of aggression really cost them, and those initial pushes into these little narrow chokes against a Pharah and a Junkrat were just probably non-advisable here in this case.
Yeah, they had a lot of advantages that they just didn't push. The respawn advantage on Pandu on that second to last push. They had a Mercy, so you know, when you have a Mercy and the other team doesn't, it's basically like every fight is a 7v6 because you have that res. As long as someone doesn't die in too poorly of a spot, but still throughout the fight you should be able to res at least one person up. So there were a lot of advantages that they just didn't take, and they got full held because of it. So now top Ramen is playing with house money. Series is, there's no way that Lotus can come back in the series. So I'd like to see top Ramen get a little bit creative. You know, maybe try some things out now.
Yeah, Yeah, and I see Mr. Crit here on the Brigitte. So that's not a character that you see Mr. Crit on a lot. So this is a very interesting one. So they're going heavy combo here with triple tanks and triple support. So no DPS here coming
Attackers
from the
incoming in
side
30
of
seconds.
Top Ramen. So they've decided that they're going to be a little unusual here on this attack, most likely just to sort of outlast Lotus here. So I'm thinking the strategy here is just get on the point and sit on it, and just basically make them try to kill him with all that healing and all of those tanks there. But it looks like here last switch here, Pandu deciding not to go. No, Pandu's still going to go on the
5,
on
4,
the Zarya here. So yeah,
3,
this is basically a
2,
sit
1.
comp. So they're going to just
Attackers
probably just go
incoming.
straight to the point and just sort of sit
Defend
there and
objective
try to sort of
A.
outlast them. So let's see whether or not they can sort of survive this. They've got the pulled pork here on the other side, and they've sort of set up on the high ground here, but by going through hotel, they're going to sort of nullify it, and they have to be careful because they don't want to give up anything, so they're going to have to jump down immediately and sort of challenge. And it looks like they're just sort of pooping them off and keeping the tanks at bay. So it looks like here Mr. Crit gets the kill on Freckles, and that is big. Losing the Mei here was their sort of control that they needed, and now Kill's just going all the way up Top Ramen. That's going to be it. I mean, the 6v1 here on the point. Oh, Cheshire Cat tried to sort of got the ult super fast with the heavy combo, but that's going to do it. Top Ramen take King's Row 1-0.
Yeah, there's a very effective offense. They ran the Goats comp, which I think Goats is. I think that was one of the Team Canada tryout teams.
Yeah.
And so they really popularized that, where it was basically Slambulance, but instead of the Roadhog, they go with a Brigitte, because Brigitte has a little bit better sustain for the whole team, because she, Lucio, and Moira all have AoE healing, so that they can just really dump all their healing into the 3 tanks and keep them alive through so much. But they really couldn't do anything about the Pharah, which is why we saw Cheshire Cat get a barrage in like 30 seconds, which barrage is actually a really slow charging ultimate for the DPS. I think it might be one of the slowest, actually. But she puts out so much damage into that composition, and they really can't do anything about her, so they just have to kill the rest of the team, ignore the Pharah, make it a 6v5 with the rest of the team, bulldoze over them, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And worked fantastically.
It worked super great here. So Top Ramen now with the victory 3-0 over Lotus. They're going to be going for map count. When we come back, it will be Temple of Anubis, and it will be time for Top Ramen to experiment here. They didn't win their last time on Temple, so they're going to be looking for a 4-0 here just to improve their plus-minus differential and sort of climb out of that 8th place spot and make sure that they get a little higher. So we'll be right back. When we come back, it will be Temple of Anubis, Top Ramen here, up on Lotus 3-0.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
Alrighty, folks. We're here in our final match. Final map. It is Temple of Anubis. Top Ramen here will be on offense, and they will be trying to sort of take sort of a good look here at Temple against Lotus. Top Ramen having some issues here on Temple of Anubis here in their last map, only drawing, not able to sort of finish it out. They had some issues here on point B and not being able to sort of take point B, which is, of course, one of the harder maps to take based on where the spawn locations are. So I'm thinking here Top Ramen will be trying to do their best here to make sure that they can get a good grip here of Temple Anubis. And for Lotus, they want to just get a map here off of Top Ramen. They want to get something out of this matchup, maybe improve their differential, just not let it go to minus 24, and they just probably want to make sure that they are going to get this map right for any future matches, as they are just sort of trying to struggle to sort of keep sort of chugging on there. They still are not technically out of the playoff race. They still have ability to sort of make it in there, but with every match that they lose, it makes it just sort of harder and harder. And they're going to just try to see here if they can get better and better here as the weeks go on.
2, 1.
So as Top Ramen here, as started, it looks like here they're going to be going with a Reinhardt Zarya combo here. No dive, which I'm actually sort of surprised about, because a lot of the times teams like to sort of get on that platform and sort of harass as best as they can. But it looks like they're going in with a slower comp here as they sort of move into the left and are going into the little room, as it looks like all of Lotus here have actually just sort of tried to focus here onto the left side, excuse me, on the right side here, according to them, but they actually lose Mr. Crit initially here on the push, with Cheshire Cat being able to sort of just spam as much as they can. Penzito with a not necessarily good charge there, as he charges right into the sort of fortified Orisa and gets taken down. Cheshire Cat takes Cap out, and it looks like here Top Ramen here are going to have to reset. The last thing they want is to be trapped in this little room with a Junkrat in their face, which is what is going on. Millsy takes out Freckles, so they lose the Widow here in the back. So Freckles here, not being careful with the Junkrat, now it has allowed Top Ramen to sort of wrap around, but only half the team is wrapped around, not all of them. So Cap is still sort of like trailing here in the back, actually moves in, and now they've gotten to the high ground without a Widow. And Fenzito here trying to sort of make sure that Scientist does not get up. Mr. Crit here fell off the high ground and now on the ground, but that's not going to stop them. It looks like they get 2 kills here just to sort of start off with, and a high noon comes out from Mr. Crit, who takes out Phoenix. Very high priority target there, and good use of the high noon. Fenzito gets killed and rezzed immediately, so they're going to take this point here relatively easily on their second push, and that's going to do it. Freckles here is going to have to back off, and Scientist gets taken out for good measure, and good job here by Top Ramen. They're going to have about 6:30 here on the clock, so excuse me, 6:09 here to get point B.
Yeah, so there's a pretty different composition on the attack than what I think most people are used to seeing with the McCree Junkrat. Usually a Pharah or a Widow is put in.
And it looks like a Graviton here comes out immediately. Oh! And an Earthshatter sort of came through, but it only caught the Diva, which is a little weird here. They pop the Bongo here into the back, but kills are going the way of Top Ramen as they're building percentage here up onto the point. Look at this now, that they just need to sort of clear out the stragglers who are coming through. Cheshire Cat doing his best to sort of hold on there, being pocketed by Phoenix, and Phoenix gets taken out. Good priority, target priority here. More percentage here built up as a Diva Bomb here gets dropped onto the point, but great bubble there, just to sort of shield everybody away. But still, Millsy goes down. As Vespersy gets Millsy back up as the push gets on. The problem here is it looks like Top Ramen are a little bit scattered to the wind, and that is going to end their push there. 2 killed by the tire. It's going to give the advantage here to Lotus. It's just going to be a matter of time here. Fenzito charging in, trying to get the Zenyatta sort of out of the way. He loses his healing now in the back, but does take out Freckles. He's sort of holding on as best as he can here onto the point. They're already at 88%. They still will not give this up. They keep fighting onto the point. I'm actually surprised now they finally give it up, as they sort of are forced to back off as Phoenix takes down Mr. Crit. The Mercy, the deadly Mercy there, takes down the DPS, and now a full reset here coming in from Top Ramen.
That was a really protracted offense. I would have really liked to see them pull out like 30 seconds before they did, because it was like a 3v6, and the defenders have such an overwhelming spawn advantage that you're really not going to win that out. And then they invested both Transcendence and Deadeye into it, and really got nothing for it.
Yeah, but it looks like here they were able to sort of build up those ults super fast while they're doing it, and it looks like a graviton immediately right into the back here. That tire was supposed to catch all those on who. That looks like Cap is now rotating, trying to get that tire to catch anyone. Doesn't get anybody. It's sort of like was sort of undecided whether to go for the Zenyatta or not go for the Zenyatta here, as they sort of are now back onto the point. Scientist takes out Pandu, so they lose the Zarya here, but there's nobody really on the point. So if they're able to sort of clear it off, they can sort of finish it real quick here. Soul Train ults, but gets killed right away. Transcendence here. Now Fanzito charges everybody off the point, and they finally cap with 3:24 here left on the clock. They were able to sort of clean it off, but that was very, very, I would say, unkept by Top Ramen, as they looked a little sloppy here on the point B offense.
Yeah, Cap was trying to get greedy with his Riptire. He passed by the Mercy and the Zen each, like, 3 times, waiting for them to get within the kill radius of each other, I would imagine. But if you just you kill the Mercy, that's their main healer, that's their res. That is such a huge kill that it's worth it just getting the one person.
No, exactly. You're absolutely right. I always tell my team, when I tell them, it's like killing a Mercy is like killing 2 people. Because it's like, you kill the Mercy and then you kill the res that goes along with the Mercy. So, like, just as you said. So, it's just one of those things in which if you have to solo ult Mercy, and we saw Mr. Crit do it a couple times already, you do it. And you can end up winning the fight and only using one ult doing it. So, there is inherent value killing the Mercy. So, you don't have to be greedy there. But Cap with a 5K earlier, maybe trying to add to the highlights here. Which is why he was rotating, going around in circle here with the Junkrat tire. So 3:24 is the time that Top Ramen has left in their time bank. Lotus here needs to finish Anubis here with time remaining in order for them to get a time bank themselves and for this match to keep on going. If they do not finish Anubis, or if they finish Anubis with 0 time left in the bank, then Top Ramen will have a chance to win it with 3:24 here left on the clock. So it is imperative that Lotus finish out this map with any time remaining. So Lotus here, now Lotus looks like they're the ones who are going to the dive, which I thought was what Top Ramen is going to do. And Top Ramen is going to just go for a sort of more of aggressive defense here. So like it looks like they're going to position without an Orisa, and they're going to put Fenzito here up on the top. And just, it looks like he was a little late getting into position, but Mr. Crit and Cap were able to get 2. And by doing so, they're able to sort of split this push. And Fenzito here getting aggressive, sort of waiting for that trap. And it looks like Scientist gets taken out in D-Mech. And it looks like it's a full reset here coming through for Lotus. So as
Yes.
yeah, so like Lotus going back to the drawing board here, they just were looks like Top Ramen were being hyper aggressive and pushing through and just not giving Lotus a clean engage.
Yeah, and they're going to change up the composition. They're going to go to the slower, more standard death ball. I like the Pharah pick from them, although I think they need to really focus down the McCree more than what they're currently doing.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about it is that they're not getting to the McCree, or either that, or Cheshire is just not being able to come close enough before Mr. Crit takes her out. So now it looks like here they got trapped again, trying to go to the high ground here. Cheshire Cat has free reign, as there is no like hit scan here, but a great sort of bomb and combination by Pandu here to get Cheshire Cat out of the air, and Fenzito charging back here, charging back to the point. Now it looks like they have 2:27 here left on the clock. They're starting to build ults here. Freckles does have the pulse bomb here, so I'm wondering maybe that you send Freckles out to the point, see if you can draw some of the tanks out. Maybe use that pulse bomb, but it looks like they're coming down Main Street and are just going to look for kills. Mr. Crit here does take out Soul Train here on the engage. As they sort of jump to the point. Looks like Deluxe tried to get to the point as fast as they could. Nothing doing. Cap again with that Junkrat tire looking for kills. This time, he doesn't give up on any of the kills. Gets both Soul Train and Phoenix. And another reset here coming out from Lotus.
Having a really slow, drawn-out tire like that near Reinhardt is really dangerous, because if that Ryan, gets his fire strike off cooldown and just smacks your tire with it, the tire's done. He could have just hit the Mercy, and then they could clean up the Rhine, you know, in the neutral game, and then build more ult charge instead of using the ult for that.
Yeah, well, it looks like another like Graviton here catches the entire team. Fenzito swinging away there, gets 4. Most looks like everybody's down. Breath to the wind. They do use a couple ults there, but it looks like both support ults are still available by Top Ramen, and Lotus just having a hard time here coming from Anubis. It's almost as if like Top Ramen know exactly what they're going to be doing here before they even do it. And it's making it really hard for them to go in. It looks like now that they've just sort of given up on the patience, and they're just going to go straight in, and a huge shatter there by Fenzito catches everybody on the way in. So now it's nothing but supports here left. It looks like Phoenix popped the Valkyrie here out of desperation, trying to sort of stay up in the air, being able to see maybe she can take somebody out here. They need any kill that they can. She flies back towards the point here with only 40 seconds here left. Vesper and Mr. Crit have their ults available, so Phoenix has got to be careful staying out of the air here. Mr. Crit will solo ult her without any question. So make sure that like you got to stay close to the ground here as they come in on their final attack. Non-stop here. Soul Train misses the jump, misses the platform there, and Cheshire Cat gets taken out right away. The res comes through, and now here's your fight. Fenzito here trying to just sort of swing away here in the back is able to take care of Scientess. The Pharah here in the air has free reign but gets taken out. Great combination, Discord, and now the Junkrat here is trying to finish off the supports. Absolutely does. Phoenix and Deluxe get taken out, and that's going to do it. Top Ramen full hold Anubis and take the victory 2-0.
So from Lotus, they started out on dive. I think they tried it once, maybe even twice. Didn't work. And they swapped to Death Ball, and then they swapped back to dive at the end. I think if they would have stayed on dive and just coordinated better with the Pharah and the Winston onto attacking the McCree, kill him first, block the res, and then kind of work on the rest of the team, I think that would have been a much more effective strategy than, you know, this ping-ponging back and forth, not sure what they want to do, how they want to do it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So it's just one of those things in which it's like when you're caught in between two minds, there's really just nothing that you can sort of do about it. You also waste a lot of that ult percentage that you sort of try to build up initially with that push. So you basically have to start fresh after burning, you know, anywhere between 30 to 45 seconds, even a minute off of your clock. So you give yourself a huge disadvantage with a configuration change like that for your entire team. So unfortunately, Lotus was just unable to break that stout Top Ramen defense there on Temple of Anubis. So final thoughts here on the match, Ad here. I know you were only able to catch the last 2 maps here, but Top Ramen looking good, right?
Yeah, Top Ramen. Anubis was a little bit messy, but I think it kind of just worked out for them. You know, maybe if they were playing against a more coordinated team, that they might not have gotten away with as much as they did, because there were a number of very punishable things that Top Ramen did that Lotus just didn't follow up on, and I think that was one of the things that really lost the game for Lotus. Is just not pushing advantages, to put it into one phrase.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Lotus was just unable to sort of capitalize on those advantages, and it cost them. And it cost them dearly here in this game. So that's going to do it for us, for Ad and myself, and for Mist Legend, who was our referee and game host. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, send me a Twitch DM and a follow if you want in on the contest for that one single ticket for the OWL Finals on the 27th and 28th of July. Got to get that DM in before 11:59 p.m. on Monday. But for Mist Legend, I am Horohori. It is a victory for Top Ramen 4-0 over Lotus, and that is going to do it for us today. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.